Well, everybody, this is a video that a lot of people will probably find helpful. I'm going to be rebuilding these 1985 GSL rear calipers. So these are the calipers that would have come on a limited slip rear end on a first gen RX7. Now, I have rebuilt them once before, or other ones. It was over a year ago, so I'm a little rusty on it. But I'm going to go through, replace the main part of the caliper, like around the seal around the piston, as well as everything in the parking brake side, because that's actually a lot of times where they leak. Currently, these are actually even locked up. Like, I can't move the parking brake at all. These came out of that wrecked RX7 a while back. Now, I went ahead and I got myself an actual Mazda rebuild kit. The one kit does both calipers. So, I'll be using this to rebuild it. Now, the first thing I'm going to do to get it apart is go ahead and take the slider off, which you'll need to undo this bolt, and then it'll just slide off. Now, one thing you want to be sure to do, you see these clips right here, all those clips, don't lose them. You want to make sure you keep them because they keep your pads from rattling around, and they're really expensive if you need to buy them again. So, I'll go ahead and I will slide or undo this bolt, get it off, and then I'll get right back to y'all. So I got the mount off the caliper. This bolt right here, you don't actually need to take it out. Mine was just stuck because it had not been properly greased. Now, you need to make sure every time you mess with this, you need to put grease there and on this pin, and make sure that this rubber and this rubber are still okay, so it kind of holds your grease in there. Otherwise, your caliper will get stuck. So the next thing is, you need to try and take the piston out. So on a normal brake caliper, like would be on the front, you would just use pressure to get this out. These you need to unscrew. So I'll probably use pliers because I don't have the actual tool, but go in here, go, spin it to pop it out. So I will try and show you what I do with the pliers to get that out. So take your pliers just like this, and then stick it in there and just turn. There's actually a tool that can go in there. I'm not going to be able to show you like actually doing it. I'm going to need to put it in the vise and use both hands. You're not going to be able to see. But the basic idea is you stick this in between those two notches and then you turn. So these were so stuck, I actually had to go out and get the tool. This is what the tool looks like for this. Each of these sides has a different type of pin that you can put into those notches on the caliper. So on this specific tool, those fit. You take the opposite side, put it in your ratchet, and then you can shove it on and loosen it. Well, we were able to get the piston out. Here's the piston. You can see someone's gone to town on this one before. The main seal actually was not too bad. It is kind of stuck, and you can see where it's gotten like the seal stuck to this piston before. Not too rusty. Now, if we look down inside, it's a little gross in there, a little discoloration. That seal is not perfect, but definitely rebuildable. Now, the hard part of this is back here. This right here should be able to move. It don't. So, got to take this rubber off, and then once I get this off, which is just held on, there's a metal, this is a metal clip right here. Just spread it, pull it off, and then this rubber will slide off around. And then I'll be able to show you everything that's back in here. And then I'll come back to this when it's actually time to reassemble. Well, I got the rubber off, and well, it isn't good. that is all rust. So it's no wonder these are locked up. So next step is to undo this C-clip and see if I can just tap out this pin right here. And then I just need to go to town with a wire brush and just clean everything up. There's actually only one seal back here, and it's on inside of this rod right here, but you have to get it all apart to get down into there. So I will get to that, take it all apart, and then get to cleaning these up. So, I mean, I guess I can probably show you trying to get this off right here. Okay, well, the C-clip came off. That's good. But that is locked solid. I'm going to need to tap that out with a hammer, and I'll do that off camera. And then so you can kind of see how this works. There's like a pellet right in there. And inside of this rod, as you twist it, it pushes that pellet down into the rod, which actually physically pushes the caliper or the piston out. Currently, this rod is rusted into there, so it won't turn. Now, I need to beat this out so that I can get into there and then clean it all up. Probably the next time you see this will be after I've gone through and cleaned it up. Well, after a lot of cleaning, everything is about ready to go back together. Cleaned up the piston, or the piston, and all I did was just take some really fine sandpaper, go around that so that I could get it nice and clean. Everything else I went out with a wire brush and brake parts cleaner. I was able to easily tap this out with a hammer. Here's the spring. This, I cleaned it out the best I could. I found out that it's not sealing very well. Gonna try and seal it up better when I put it back together. One thing to keep in mind, and I'll say this again when I'm putting it together, there are these washers, okay? So they are like concave, and you need to put the dish side to a dish side so that they look almost more spread out, and they're kind of almost like a spring. And then the side, there's going to be one that doesn't have a partner. You slide it up, the one that doesn't have a partner goes on the bottom facing out. So, and then you'll put your new seal on. So, slid that on there. Next thing I'll do is I'll put that seal on, and then I will go ahead and put this back in there with some grease. So with your rebuild kit, there should have been some grease that came with it, some orange grease and some pink grease. This pink grease says it's rubber grease, so I'm going to use it for all of these rubber seals as it goes together. Don't know exact. The other one is probably Caliper pin grease. Everything is in Japanese on that other one, so I can't read it. I can't read Japanese, so, but it looks and has the same consistency as caliper pin grease. So just greased that up right there. Now this, take your caliper, you have that hole, just go ahead and carefully slide it on in there. Just like that. You see? Now it's slid up in there, and there's a new seal. The washers went down in there. The next thing to do will be to make sure, I think I put that backwards, your pellet's in there. Then you'll have to put the spring and slide everything back together. That's going to be the difficult part and hard to show you because I'll need two people and the hands will just be everywhere, but I'm going to try. Okay, so I greased everything up. The little pellet is down sitting on there. Sit right there. Got the spring. Make sure you put the indentation where the little catch is. Now I'm going to try and slide this all together. This is really difficult, okay? I'm going to try and do it by myself. Might not be able to, but we're going to give it a shot. good to put your C-clip back on the end here. That keeps it from falling out. Then stick your cover back over like that. Now it's all filled with grease. Just gotta probably rub a little bit on that rubber there. It'll soak it in. Now there's this big clip that'll need to go back over that again. I'll probably do that off camera, but it just goes down into that slot. And I'm gonna wrap a zip tie right here. There's supposed to be a clip, but mine didn't have it, so I'm just gonna real tight wrap a zip tie around it. Then we'll go and put everything together on the other side. Well, now that the parking brake side is all taken care of, it is time to get to work on the regular, just hydraulic side. So we need to get this seal in. This seal right here is the one that actually holds the hydraulic fluid in. I mean, granted that little O-ring holds it in too, but this is what actually seals against your piston. So just kind of put a little of this grease on here. And then there's a race right inside this caliper. Let's see if I can, it's all slick now. Just got to slide it into the race on the inside. Let's go. Okay. Yep, there we go. So I don't know how well you can see it. Yep, there it is. That's where I just put that black seal right into that race. Now we have over here, it's going to fall over. We have our piston. So one thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to slather this up with grease. That way it just goes in nice and easy. Won't have any issues sealing to that seal. And then we'll put a little dust boot on it, and it will be great. Okay, now this little dust guard is down on here. We're just going to stick this down here, and it's just, it should just go down in there, but it's not. Okay, the caliper is now done. That seal, all the seals are new. Everything back here is new. I did put a zip tie right there so that should say sealed. I did take the bleed nipple out. You just put that right down in there. I'm actually going to put a little anti-seize on it. But that's it for this video. Hopefully this gives you the confidence to rebuild your own caliper because, well, you can't buy these anymore. You have to rebuild them. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully you found this helpful.